Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to another episode on the Shaheedi Bunga channel, on the Gurpurab series. So this is part 2 on Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji, because in part 1 we covered their Prakash,
all the way up to Gurta Gaddi.
Oh yeah, that's it, all the way up to Gurta Gaddi. The Prakash and their childhood, and when the assassination attempts, that was covered. So the only difference in this one to part 1 is that the background's a little different.
Yeah.
I know. But yeah, so we were talking about it just before the camera turned on, that we were kind of discussing how many parts
to make. Yeah, there's so many. Depends on how much detail we want to go into. But so this part that we're trying to make, we're going to be covering Satguru Maharaj at making the Akaal Takht, Akaal Bunga. Back then it's called Akaal Bunga, now we call it Akaal Takht Sahib. Satguru Maharaj getting the army ready.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
interesting we're talking about the jangs, because we always hear that Maharaj had 4 janga ladiyan, na?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard of the detailed version of even one of the jangs.
No.
Whereas where Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj da Pangani da Judd ho gaya, Chamkaur di jang ho gayi, whereas it goes into a lot of detail, but Guru Hargobind Ji Maharaj jang is something. Yeah, so hopefully we'll go into that in more detail then.
Yeah, and even if you do, usually it's a Taddiyan, they'll cover like Bandi Chorr.
Yeah.
But not like Guru Maharaj's first ever jang, second jang, teeje jang, and so on. And I think Wakaviji, they really emphasize in Surya Prakash is that Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, mano Shevin Pasha mor ke aage. That's the way they put it. Shevin Pasha da roop mor ke aage.
Right.
Yeah, that's the way they put it. It's like the great grandson of Shevin Pasha Ji Maharaj. But it's like you have to emphasize Shevin Pasha, Miri Piri the Maharaj, because you know this is the Satguru Maharaj. Or roop hai ne jinna ne, you know, in knee rakhi of this warrior aspect that the Khalsa has.
Yeah.
And even till today, Nihang Singh hai, they always remember Shevin Pasha.
Yeah, bilkul.
Jod bhi koi shastra chakde hai, Miri Piri the Maharaj nu yaad karte.
So it's obviously thank you to all the viewers that watch and comment and give us feedback, because sometimes randomly I'll be at the Gurdwara, and when we first started the Gurpurab series off, I had quite a few random people come up to me and say that, oh, the podcast was brilliant. So people listening to it. People listening to it, and I think it's so easy to understand and go through it. And when we're going through Sakhiyan, so the stories of Guru Sahib Ji, we're using the power of our mind to kind of almost make that scene, right? So even when you just mention Guru Hargobind Ji Maharaj, when you say Guru Hargobind Ji, I just try and think tall, huge, big, and then with the power of your mind, you're trying to make a scene. And ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ connection ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਮਾਰਦ ਨਾਲ ਫਿਰ with that ਧਿਆਨ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਗੱਲ, like so ਧਿਆਨ focus is very powerful tool that we have, that Maharaj has given us, Guru Sahib has given us to connect with Guru Sahib Ji. It's a very easy way to like kind of accelerate on the path of Sikhi. Is ekta simran and itihas, joining with, you know, listening to history. It's so easy to fall in love with Guru Sahib Ji through itihas.
That's usually ਔਖੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਕਿ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਦੱਸਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਪਾਈਏ, ਹੈ ਨਾ? But you have to appreciate, ਵਾਰ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ ਗੁਰ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਇੱਕ ਹੋ ਜਾਣ, ਇੱਕ ਹੀ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, and it's very easy to have that love for the Satguru, and ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਚਰਿੱਤਰ ਸੁਣਨੇ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਕਥਾ, ਸਾਖੀਆਂ ਸੁਣ ਕੇ ਬਿਲਕੁਲ ਦਿਨ ਰਾਤ ਜੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਰਸ ਚੀਜ਼, just remembering Satguru Maharaj, hearing about them, ਸੁਭਾਵਿਕ ਹੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਜਾਗਦਾ ਹੈ.
ਬਿਲਕੁਲ. Yeah. So let's get started with part 2 then. So where we're going to start from now?
So we had a Gurta Gaddi, Shevin Pasha Ji, they on the Takht and Gurta Gaddi, the Takht. The Masands, they came in. So the Masands, as a recap, they were like big figures in the Guru Kar, where their role was to do prachar. They go out, jana daswand hunda siga, sangat wallo, they'll get that together, give it to the Guru Kar and all that stuff. So they came to Shevin Pasha Ji in this previous episode, and they brought the things which came down from all the way from Guru Nanak Dev Ji to Guru Angad Dev Ji, things that were passed down. They had a mala, they had a manji as well, and a seli topi, and the hat as well. Shevin Pasha Ji, they said, we're not accepting this. And they were following the hukum of Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj. Inda nahi ke kuch nami cheez shuru karti thi, it was an order of Panjਵੇਂ Pasha Ji. And then now we got the Masands coming to Mata Ganga Ji, worried. ਕਿ ਆ ਕੀ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ,
Yeah.
what's going on here,
Changed.
what's changed.
Yeah.
And ਛੇਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਉਹਨੇ ਐਲਾਨ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਵੀਂ ਰੀਤੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨੀ ਆ, where we have ਸੰਤ and ਭਗਤ in the Guru Car, we're going to have ਸੂਰਮੇ alongside them. ਨਵੀਂ ਰੀਤੀ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਨੀ ਹੈ।
ਇਹ ਤਾਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਮੌਜ ਆ, whatever, if they want to change the tradition, ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਮੌਜ is Guru Sahib ਦੀ ਮੌਜ if they want to.
That's it, yeah. And the way to look at this, I was just thinking about this like a few days ago, ਨਾ ਕਿ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ 'ਚ ਵਾਰ-ਵਾਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਪਰਮਾਤਮਾ ਕਦੇ ਭਿਖਾਰੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਵਸਦਾ ਆ, ਹਨਾ, ਆਪਣਾ ਰੂਪ ਬਦਲ ਕੇ ਕਦੇ ਦਾਨੀ ਬਣ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ, ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਛ ਉਹਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਆ। You have to imagine this in the same as Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. ਉਹੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਦੇ ਬਾਲਕ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਫੋਮੋ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਰਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ, ਕਦੇ ਉਹੀ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਦੇ ਪੁੰਜ ਨਾ ਪੰਜਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਬੀਰ ਰਸ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ, ਛੇਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ 10ਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ, ਕਦੇ ਉਹੀ ਬੀਰ ਰਸ ਦੇ ਰੂਪ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੋਕ ਗੁਰੂ ਤੇਗ ਬਹਾਦਰ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਦੇ ਪੁੰਜ। This is like Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj in the different colours,
different forms,
different forms, yeah.
So Moja is Guru Sahib Ji's wish, whatever they want.
Yeah.
So they're changing the tradition of what was happening. Yep.
And ਉਹ ਵੀ ਇਹ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ some people have a different ਭਾਵਨਾ. For example, some people they're more drawn towards Sadguru Maharaj in the ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ, ਹਨਾ, ਹਨਾ, and some ਜਿਹੜੇ ਮਾਨੋ ਗੱਤਕਾ ਖੇਡਦੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਭ they're more into ਛੇਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ, 10ਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ, ਹਨਾ, ਕਈ ਮਾਨੋ ਬਾਲਕ ਰੂਪ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਹਰਕ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਭਾਵਨਾ ਰੱਖਦੇ ਆ। ਇਹ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਖੇਡ ਆ। So we'll get started anyways. So the Masands, they go to Mata Ganga ji, and they say to Mata ji ke aa ki ho gaya, that is confused, hai na, and the reason they go to Mata ji is because they're like, you can try and convince Shivin Pasha ji to take back what they said and go back to their old ways, hai na. Ye suno Mata ji karo bechari, hai na, Turkan Raj tej at tap hai, you have the Turks, they're very powerful, na. If you got Shivin Pasha ji saying we're going to have an army, we're going to start jung, we're going to train our Gursikhs as surme, where will we hide, hai na, wo sare kehte they rule everywhere. Then they say Dutiya Khatri Chandu Devani, have Chandu as well, who is behind the Shaheedi of Panjim Pasha ji. He's going to see Shivin Pasha ji as a threat. And they're saying Mata ji tusi ek kaho Shivin Pasha ji no ke pratham gurun ki reet sambharo, apne sevak sikh udaro, jehdi pehli reeti sigi of Guru Nanak Dev ji, Guru Arjan Dev ji Maharaj, oh reeti rakho, don't do this new, you know, show that you're putting on, get rid of this. And Mata ji, they go to Shivin Pasha ji, and they can only request Shivin Pasha ji karke ਉਹ ਹੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਦਾ ਰੂਪ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਆ, and they say everything ਕਿ ਦੇਖੋ ਪੁੱਤਰ ਜੀ, you have the Turks, ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਤੇਜ਼ ਬਲਵਾਨ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ, you have Chandu as well, ਹੈ ਨਾ, he's got lots of power as well, and you've just said this, ਮੁਖ ਤੇ ਕਹੋ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਹਮ ਧਾਰਾਂਗੇ, ਅਸੀਂ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਧਾਰਨ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਹੈ ਨਾ। ਮਾਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਘਰ ਮੈਂ ਸੁਪਨਾ ਇੱਕ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਦੇਖੋ ਤਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਸੂਰਮਾ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ, we don't even have a single warrior here, you're saying I'm going to get a surme ready, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰੋ, ਹੈ ਨਾ। What the Masands are saying, I think they're right. So Mataji, they're on that side. And then
Mataji is on the side of the Masands.
It depends how you interpret it. Masands, they just want Mataji to relay on their message. Then Shivin Pasha, they say, "Nah chinta chit ki jeh mai." Hey Mata, chinta na karo. Hamre Purkh Akaal Sahib. Akaal Purkh sade ang sang ne, sade roop ne. And say, don't listen to these Masands. They're small hearted. I mean, darde rende ya. Just as Panjim Pasha ji commanded me, ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ। ਪੁੰਨ ਪਿਤ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਆਇਸ ਕਹੀ, ਜਿਵੇਂ ਪਿਤਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਆਗਿਆ ਕੀਤੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ, ਅਸੀਂ ਇਵੇਂ ਕਰਨਾ। ਐਂਡ ਦੇ ਸੇ ਆਯੁਧ ਧਰੋ, ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਧਾਰਨ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਹਨ, ਚਮੂ ਵੱਢ ਕਰੋ, ਫੌਜ ਤਿਆਰ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਰਿਪ ਸਨ ਲੜੋ, ਦੁਸ਼ਟਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਨਾਸ਼ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ, ਹਨ। ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਿਤ ਬਨ ਹੈ ਸਹਾਈ, ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਦੇਵ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੰਗ ਸੰਗ ਰਹਿਣਗੇ, ਵਿਲ ਹੈਵ ਦ ਸਪੋਰਟ ਆਫ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ। ਐਂਡ ਦੇ ਵਿਲ ਸੇ ਦਿਸ ਕਿ ਮੈਂ ਪਰਬਤ ਕੋ ਗਰਦ ਮੇ ਲਾਵਾਂ, all these pahads, hai na, I'm going to turn them into dust, meaning these Mughals, these Turks, hai na, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਸੀਂ ਇੰਦਾ ਮਿਲਾ ਕੇ ਰੱਖ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈ। ਰਾਜ ਕਨ ਕੋ ਸਮ ਮੇਰ ਬਣਾਵੋ, and these small grains of sands, hai na, man, our Gursikhs, you know, ਬਹੁਤ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ, the humble, hai na, they don't really have much confidence, hai na, I'm going to turn them into pahads, into these mountains, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਰਾਜ ਦੇਣਾ ਹੈ। And this is what Shivin Pasha ji said. And Mata ji, when they hear this, Mata Ganga ji, they remember Baba Buddha ji's prophecy.
I was just thinking the same thing. I was thinking Baba Buddha ji from part 1. We were going through what Baba Buddha ji said, that ki unne edda karna.
So they remember this. And Kavi ji, they write down, Brita ke sammata Satguru hoye. Mata ji thinking, the bachan of Baba Buddha ji, ye sache hon lag pe. They remember them. And sun Mata sukh paya, and unne sukh paya. They're like, sade put surme honge, just as Baba Buddha ji said. And now it's coming true. So slowly after this, Shivin Pasha ji, they make the statement, hai na? They start getting the Akaal Bunga ready. So the Akaal Bunga, now we call it Akaal Takht. So what they do is, they lay the foundation stone with their own hands, as Kaviji have written, ke pratham aapne lekar haath, with their own hands, tari eent, बल तेज के साथ, and you have Baba Buddha ji, Bhai Gurdas ji also constructing this new like platform, a takht, a throne for Satguru Maharaj. And ਉਹ ਵੀ ਜਾਣ ਬੁੱਝ ਕੇ Satguru ji, they make it higher than the Delhi da takht to show the Badshah that dekho, this is our sovereign power, you know, we're higher than you as well. And what Guruji do is they send hukamname sare kite, far and wide. And
this is constructed within the prakarma of Darbar Sahib.
So if you go today, you can still see the Pratan Itta under, right, you got the Akaal Takht underneath. That's the original that Shemi Pasha themselves, with Baba Buddha ji, with Bhai Gurdas ji.
Behind the glass,
So they send hukamname for Gursikhs to get together, and they put a special message in these hukamname, and Kaviji, they've written it down. They say, Jo Sikh aan hai shastra turanga. Jine vi Gursikh ne hona hai mere paas, shastra leke aao. And horses as well. Hoye khushi, Guru ki sukh sanga. Guru di khushi tanu prapt hogi. And they also say, don't bring anything else. Liaye akor, bilam nahe tarbe, hor kuch nahi asi, we're not going to accept anything else. Only shastra and horses, weapons and horses. And the Sikhs, they start getting together. Kaviji, they write down Sikhs from all over India at the time. Delhi, Agra, Patna, Maqsoodabad, Kanchi, Farakkabad, South, West as well, Kabul, Kandahar, Peshawar, Kashmir as well. And Kaviji, they're saying, how can I count? It's impossible to count. The Sangh, they start getting together. And Shemi Pasha ji, they see the Sangh and they start making their way towards Amritsar Sahib. And Kaviji, they're writing everything in lots of detail. So this is that Miri Piri, where Baba Buddha ji going to give the do talwara, they're going to say on the takht, on Akaal Takht Sahib. So Shemi Pasha ji, they enter Harmandir Sahib ji, Darshni Diodi, Paur Darshni Sees Nevai. Pelo baro matha tek dene. Pun Harmandir Sundar gaye, Darshan le Abhibandan gaye. Then they enter Harmandir Sahib, utthe matha tek dene, prakarma kar dene. And then they go towards Akaal Bunga, where they constructed this platform. And then they say to Baba Buddha ji, Aan ho shastra jo hum banwaye, the special shastras which I ordered you to make, tusi wo leke aao, the Miri Piri de talwara. And Baba Buddha ji, they bring the do talwara, and before wearing them, Shemi Pasha ji, they do an ardas. Pancho Satguru ko laina. They remember Guru Nanak Dev ji, Guru Angad Dev ji, Guru Amar Das ji, Guru Ram Das ji, and Guru Arjan Dev ji Maharaj. And then they get the do talwar in their own hands. Gahe khadag, dwa baho abhiram. And then they got the sajon dene. And fair, they also bring a bow and arrow as well. Sara shastra tari ho gaya na. Rachiyo tak this bandhan keen. In this form of, shastra tar ke, they go towards that platform. Matha tek dene. Rachiyo tak this bandhan keen. Matha tek dene. Then they go on top of and baraj dene on the takht. They sit down on the throne. Chad go to Bir Asan Asin, and Bir Asan which bethe ne. And then you can just imagine the Gursikhs seeing this.
Like I said before, I'm imagining the whole scene right now. Maharaj sitting there with both of their talwars. Imagine how amazing that would have looked.
And the same Pavana that you're talking about, Kaviji described it as well. Sikhan chak chakor ke chand. And we talked about this before as well. You have the chakor bird in it. So it just looks at the moon all night. Especially like if you put them in a cage, and it's like a full moon, puran mashi hove. They'll like rattle the cage, try and reach the moon and everything. The Gursikhs, they're like the chakors. They're just fixated on Shemi Pasha ji. Inne sundar lagde ne, shastra saja ke. Then Kaviji, they give different examples. Din kar man ho, badan arbind. Just as you have the Suraj, the sun, and every time the sun comes out, the lotus flower, it blossoms, it comes out. In the same way, you have Shemi Pasha ji, and the Sikhs, they're just staring at Shemi Pasha ji, and they're blossoming, khushi and iman, moode utte. And then they give the example of the papiha bird as well. Like it's raining, for example, right now. And the bird is like always in pain until it rains. It gets that swanti boond. And in the same way, the Gursikhs, they're just thirsty for the darshan of Shemi Pasha ji. And now you just imagine all that thirst being quenched.
It's all being quenched. At the same time, I can imagine the concern that the Masands had. That Eki Nami Chilali. They've got armies. We haven't even got any warriors within any. Maharaj nu dekh ke you'll get the viras. Maharaj nu dekh ke you'll get that warrior spirit within you to fight. Automatically, innit?
I know this is like going off topic, but when listening to the Jangani Katha, I'm ready.
I remember we did so during December time. We remember the Shaheeds saying the Mihna Shaheed Daya, and when in Friday Night Sikh we did the Jamgordi Jang. It took about 6 weeks to do it, to cover Jamgordi Jang. but after every week, after the end of that session, this one Singh would he come up to me, he goes, Bhai, I'm ready to do something now, you know. He goes, can't we do something now?
Yeah.
He goes, I just need to do something. Yeah, that's what it does, isn't it? Gatha,
yeah. So now Satguru Maharaj ਉਹ ਤਖਤ ਤੇ ਬਿਰਾਜਮਾਨ ਨੇ ਮੀਰੀ ਪੀਰੀ ਤਲਵਾਰਾਂ ਪਹਿਨ ਕੇ ਨਾ ਬਾਬਾ ਬੁੱਢਾ ਜੀ ਦੇ ਖੰਮਨ ਰਾਜ ਦਾ ਤਿਲਕ ਲਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ ਉੱਠਿਓ ਬਰੇ ਤੇ ਕੀਨੇ ਸਭ ਟੀਕਾ. Now you have this tradition in India, every time there's a new emperor, and the Mughals also did this as well, even though they were Muslims, tilak launde ne.
Yeah.
It's a sign. And this was a sign, Shemi Pashi saying, dekho hon asi raj da tilak bhi laun lage. And this is not only a fakiran da dara hai na ke guru sant nu koi manu gaddi mili ya.
Yeah.
This is an empress throne. And now then you have a Bhai Gurdas ji and the Masands, na, they're quite confused. Bhai Gurdas ji as well. And ਉਹ ਬੇਨਤੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਨੇ ਹੱਥ ਜੋੜ ਕਰ ਬੂਝਣ ਲੱਗ ਗਏ ਕਿ ਧਰ ਹੈ ਖੜਗ ਇੱਕ ਜੇ ਭਟ ਆ ਗਏ ਜੈਸੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ all previous ਮਨੋ emperors or ਰਾਜੇ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਤਲਵਾਰ ਪੈਂਦੇ ਆ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੋ ਪਾਏ ਆ ਉਹ ਦਾ what's the reason behind this ਹੈ ਨਾ ਦੋ ਆਪ ਨੇ ਨਿਜ ਗੁਰ ਕਰ ਪਾਏ ਇਹ ਕੀ ਕਾਰਨ ਦੇ ਹੋ ਸੁਣਾਏ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸੋ what's the reason behind this ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗੀ ਦੋ ਤਲਵਾਰਾਂ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਦੇ ਐਕਸਪਲੇਨ ਧਰੇ ਤੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਬਚ ਗਏ ਐਨ ਵੀਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਨੇ हमने इस हित जुग अस गए. This is the reason we have two तलवार. एक ते ने मीरन की मीरी. With one तलवार असीं बादशाह दी बादशाही खोवांगे. Want to take the sovereign power of all the emperors. दूसरे ते पीरन की पीरी. दूजे नाल पीरां दी शक्ति भी असीं प्राप्त करांगे. उन्हां दी रक्षा वास्ते आ. उन्हां दे सही मीरी पीरी दोनों तरह बच है शरण नत जुग पर हरें. जेड़े भी इन्हां दी शरण च आ जाणगे ਉਹ बच जाणगे. बाकी नहीं बचेंगे. So whoever comes into the sanctuary of Miri and Piri, these two talwaran, they'll be saved. Yeah. बाकी anu asi manu kar dange. And then Satguru Maharaj oh Brajman now the Gur Sikhs, because Maharaj sent hukamname to give us horses and weapons. And Kabji described all the different weapons. And a kharag sipar with bibad tufang chapal bali tan ruchar turang jamtar tarkash tanush karale खंजर खंडे खर कर पाली गए तलवारां ढालां शील्ड्स बंदूकां गन्स एज वेल बलवान घोड़े कटारां तीर धनुष खंजर खंडे कीप्स ऑन गोइंग नेजे बर्शियां and every time a Gursikh matha takes puts a shastra in front of Maharaj instead of Maya. Yeah. Satguru Maharaj pick up that shastra. Parkh hai ayat gah kar khare with their own hands. Parkh there check the shastra everything. The next Gursikh comes, they check the nija. Then put it to one side. Every time a Gursikh is coming with something to give to Maharaj, Maharaj is checking with their own hands.
That's mad.
Shame of us.
I can just imagine, you know, that like I know like the Masands by Gurdas ji worried that the tradition's been changed.
Yeah.
But can you imagine that scene, that these weapons coming out, like so many weapons, Maharaj checking all the weapons.
Just imagine.
Ki tayari ho rahi hai, what kind of what's getting prepared.
Yeah, like you just imagine, right? When you go Gurdwara Sahib, matha take, they put money. Just imagine instead every single person going to shastra instead. Like in that hoga. And Maharaj checking every single one as well. Yeah. And every time a Gursikh brings shastra to Guruji, Guru Maharaj mano they praise the Gursikh. Kripa drishta ko dekhat bole. Kripa drishta tar ke kende ne sun Sikh ke he Sikh sun. Paen so anad atul hai. Tenu anand di prapti hogi in this world and the world thereafter.
Wow, look at that.
Because you brought me shastra.
Look at that. Maharaj da bhajan man ke aaye, hai na? You know, if you go in any of the sakhiyan from Surya Prakash, Nana Prakash, ek gal Sikhon nu mildi hai. One thing to learn is whenever Guru Sahib ji had done a bhajan upadesh or teaching or have told someone to do this, whatever it is, and when that Gursikh has listened to Maharaj, or they've been blessed with everything, but it just comes down to listening to Maharaj bhajan, innit? If you want to contemplate on this a little bit further, and what does Maharaj Guru Sahib ji, what's the upadesh that they give us to in today's day and age, or you know, get up at Amritsar, do simran, ishnan karke bani padho. That's the upadesh that Maharaj gives us. If you listen to that, and if you do that, getting up at Amritsar, doing simran, ishnan karke bani padhni, you'll get all the sukh in the world. You'll get all the sukh. Maharaj ga sukh aa duniya vich vi, ithe vi, in the next world as well. But it's all about that, and just listening to Maharaj bhajan. Jinne vi hon Gursikh ne, they've listened to Maharaj bhajan ki shastra leke aao. Yep. They've come and they're getting blessed with everything.
That's it, yeah. Kinni mehengi vastu na atmik anand. You know, Rishi Muni, Sant Jan है ना, सारा जीवन है ना तपस्या
Maharaj's blessing में
with one shastra है ना, वही देता सतगुरु ने.
हाँ.
ये हुंदी गुरु दी महिमा. Yeah. You don't know with what seva Guru Maharaj is going to be pleased with you.
Yeah. And then planting your seeds as well, innit? Like, so we were talking about this the other day. These are seeds that you plant, whether they're good or bad. When you plant good seed, fal melda hoda. You get a fal for it, innit? I'm just going to quickly go off topic because it's important Sakhi that I think should share with everyone. It's just a quick one. But when Guru Nanak Dev Maharaj on their travels, now we all know the famous Sakhi when Maharaj got Hardwar. And when they've had gone to a debate with the Pandits, and then after the Pandits realised that Maharaj, you know, the Vaheguru themselves, and then they ask Maharaj to bless us with Sikhi. Maharaj goes, "Tusi hor kise guru nu lab lo." Maharaj goes, "No, I'm not going to make you Sikh." And then they beg Maharaj, they're proper begging Maharaj, and then Maharaj will get chal theek hai. Ek paase oh where they're begging Mauja Maharaj wants it. And then as Maharaj are walking in Kabul, they're walking along a path, and there's a Vapari walking opposite towards Guru Sahib Ji. Not met ever before. And then this Vapari, Guru Sahib Ji asked the Vapari, what saman have you got? What are you picking? What are you carrying? And then he goes, I've got salt, dal, this is what I sell. And then Maharaj goes, show us. So he opens everything up. Maharaj goes, your weights, what's the name of these weights? How much do they weigh? And then Maharaj got one in their hand, and then he starts naming all of them. This weight weighs this much, this weighs this much. Ajay Maharaj thode hath vicha is sarona nima, like the lowest weight. Eda na payaya. And then Maharaj upadesh dena siga Maharaj ne, and then Maharaj goes that tan na he paya, that he's the lowest of the low. Tahi this one's great. Tahi this one's great.
Guru de hath chaya.
And the lowest of the low is in Guru Sahib Ji's hands, right? And then he realizes that Eta Puran Mahapurkh ne, he matha takes to Maharaj, just stays in that position for ages, doesn't move. Ananda Arya. And then Maharaj put their hand on his head and then bless him with Brahmgyanta. So his Dasam Dwar opens. Ikadami, yeah. And then when I was listening to the Gatha, I thought, Kithe Pandit jade begging Maharaj for Sikhi. And this is random Vapari, Maharaj blessed him with everything. I had that question in my mind. And then in the Katha, when you listen to it, because this whole, the Sakhi is being narrated by Balaji, Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj. I think we went through a little, when Guru Angad Dev Ji, but Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj are listening to it from Bhai Balaji's, when they're narrating it. And Guru Angad Dev Ji Maharaj asked that same question to Bhai Balaji.
Acha, okay.
They say to Bhai Balaji, ki, ek gal sanu dasso, ki, na inane seva kiti. This Vapari, this trader, he didn't do any seva of Guru Sahib Ji. Na simran, koi bandagi ja, he's just a Vapari. Ek onu kidda sara kuch mil gaya. And then Bhai Balaji kende Maharaj nu, Guru Angad Dev Ji kende, Maharaj, main bhi yehi puchha si Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj nu. I asked the same question because I had in my mind. And they asked Maharaj, and Maharaj goes, eda pishle janam da phal siga. That he, in his previous janam, he planted a seed of doing sangat with great Mahapurkhs. He did sangat of Mahapurkhs, and he did pun, oda phal hun inu aa mil gaya. So we were kind of emphasizing and talking about the seeds that you plant. So the seeds could be hun abi ek tarah da listening to the Katha of Guru Sahib Ji, you're planting a good seed, aren't you? Getting up Amritullah, planting a good seed, doing Simran, planting a good seed. We should always try our best to plant the good seeds. Don't stop, keep on planting them. Because pata nahi ki kithe phal milna jaake. I know we're a bit off track. But
it links very well.
It's the Guru Sikhs that are planting these seeds.
Because now those that didn't bring any shastra then regret. ये भी आ गया जो ने ले आए और पछताए पछताਉਂਦੇ ਆ आगे हो गया सी नहीं लगा
मेरे वर्गा होगा that's someone like me पहला की I forget it and then पछताਉਂਦਾ should have done it as well.
Like you said, karma di khed hai na. Fair enough. So now Satguru Maharaj on the Takht and Braj ne, now what they do is start recruiting the army. So start getting the army ready, the Akaal Sena. So you have the Akaal Bunga, now you have the Akaal Sena, the army of the immortal. So Satguru Maharaj, they sent out hukumname that we're willing to pay wages. Those that want to leave their kirtan, leave their karbar, and they need something to be like to provide their households. We're willing to pay them as well.
Okay.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆ ਜਾਓ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ, ਹੈ ਨਾ?
Okay.
So within a few days, you have hundreds of men getting together. And Kavaji, they say within like 3-4 days, there's 400 men came to Shemi Pasha, all together, from far and wide. Yeah.
Okay.
So na dono deshan ke joda, lar hai mar hai mar hai tar krodha, and they were willing to die for the Guru.
Okay.
इकट्ठे होए 400 इकट्ठे हुए सी हेत जीव का आए हदूर and Satguru Maharaj, they actually employed the soldiers themselves. Okay, and as days are going, more and more soldiers are coming to Guru Shemi Pasha ji. And Kaviji, they're saying, is like you just mentioned earlier on, they're not like these were just normal people, है ना? They आगे Maharaj they call. Kaviji saying, मेरी भावना ये है that these are कोई देवी देवते है. Shemi Pasha ਦੇ ਚਰਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆਏ ਆ to fight for Guru Maharaj. ਇਹ ਜਨਮ ਧਰਿਓ ਸੁਰ ਗਨ ਜਗ ਆਨੀ, ਇਹਦਾ ਸਮਝੋ ਕਿ ਦੇਵੀ ਦੇਵਤਿਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਨਮ ਧਾਰਿਆ just for this purpose. So now we have Shemi Pasha ji themselves training the army themselves. They're like going around teaching the soldiers. ਰਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਤੇ ਤੀਰ. They train with Shemi Pasha ji. ਆਯੁਧ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਸ਼ਸਤਰ ਵਿਦਿਆ ਸਿਖਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ. And Guru Maharaj, every single soldier, they give them a khanda, khadag, tufang kaman, a gun, a kaman as well, a bow and arrow. And then Satguru Maharaj started taking them out for hunting as well. To practice their, shastra within the skills. And again, this is just the way Kaviji go through is like Satguru Maharaj, they're like, look at this, kinne vadde bhag hai in Surme aande. You have Shemi Pasha themselves giving them the shastra and teaching them everything as well. Teaching them how to shoot an arrow, how to, focus on a target and everything. And now what happens is, day by day, the glory of Shemi Pasha ji is spreading everywhere. Dekho, Guru Nanak de dar vich ki kuch hunda hai. Now hearing the glory, you have Taddis and Pats, so like court poets, they start getting together and they say, Asi vi Guru de charana ch jana te unna di upma gauni hai. We want to gain their blessings. So that's what typically happen is like Rajan de darbaran vich you'll get different kaviyan and Pats and so on. And the Raja will give them names and so on. So you have the same Riti, that's what Kaviji is saying. You have Rajan di Riti in the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. You have these court poets coming. So the famous ones that we know about is Baba Abdulla Natha. And son Abdul Taddi chalayo, Taddi hunda ya. He's a Taddi. Bhai sopat tinko jas gayo. And Satguru Maharaj always call him to sing the vara and the ballads of previous warriors. ताकि सुन के बीर रस पैदा होए संगतां दे अंदर. So alongside Kirtan Katha, so Taddi vara. And the only purpose of these Taddi vara, even today, is so that the Sangat gets beer ras. And Kaviji, the way they put it is, jiske sun the beer ras jage, and get that warrior essence. Kair, sope, lare, nahapagi, even cowards then fuse with this warrior spirit. Jinane kade, couldn't even harm a fly or anything. Oh, jagvend.
But I mean, when you listen to Taddi,
even
the sound of the sarangi and the vara that they sing, it does infuse the warrior spirit within you. That awakens, the warrior spirit. Singh pointed out, and to all the viewers as well, it's something to have a look at. You can probably Google it or whatever. But it's so it's a little bit sad, isn't it? That I think Taddi Kala is kind of going a little bit downhill. Not that many people like really listen to it that much. And when you have samagams of such, that's where you see that not many Taddis even get called. And that Taddi is, you get the Kirtanis, you get the Kathavachaks, and then like it must sound like there'll be one or two like Taddis, even if that, But I mean, there's one Singh who's trying to keep the Kala alive, is Pradeep Singh Taddi. He's got a YouTube channel, PS Taddi. But he's really got a really strong connection towards Taddi, and that's why he started a YouTube channel. All the old videos of all the famous Taddi jathe, he's got them all on there. So it's something to view. But he told me one thing. He goes, if you look at that famous picture by Sukha Singh Mehtab Singh, so this is something to Google now. I'm not sure if you can put this picture up while we're talking about it. But there's a famous picture of Sukha Singh Mehtab Singh bringing Masarangar to head. And as they get into the campsite in the jungle area, have you remember that picture? Right in the left corner, Taddi lage hoya. It's something to make note of. That Guru Sahib ji, I think, promoted quite a lot of the Taddi Kala.
100%.
Like you said, the reason is obviously to get that warrior spirit.
And you can see the Bijaras in these Varas. So we have one Var which comes from that time. I was sung during Shemi Pasha's time by ਨੱਥਾ ਐਂਡ ਅਬਦੁੱਲਾ ਉਹ ਇੱਕ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ one ਬਾਕੀਆਂ ਗਾਇਬ ਹੋ ਗਈਆਂ ਕਿ ਦੋ you might probably heard ਦੋ ਤਲਵਾਰਾਂ ਬੱਦੀਆਂ ਇੱਕ ਮੀਰੀ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਪੀਰ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਅਜ਼ਮਤ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਰਾਜ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਰਾਖੀ ਕਰੇ ਵਜ਼ੀਰ ਦੀ ਹਿੰਮਤ ਬਾਹਾਂ ਕੋਟ ਗੜ ਦਰਵਾਜ਼ਾ ਬਲਕ ਬਖੀਰ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਸਿਪਾਹੀ ਨੀਲ ਨਲ ਮਾਰ ਦੁਸ਼ਟਾਂ ਕਰੇ ਤਾਗੀਰ ਦੀ ਪੱਗ ਤੇਰੀ ਕੀ ਜਹਾਂਗੀਰ ਦੀ so they're describing that ਦੇਖੋ ਛੇਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਦੋ ਤਲਵਾਰਾਂ ਪਹਿਨੀਆਂ ਇੱਕ ਮੀਰੀ ਦੀ ਇੱਕ ਪੀਰ ਦੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ one azmat one for like power ਹੈ ਨਾ and karamat one to save the sants ਹੈ ਨਾ and they describe it then at the end again pag teri ki jahangir di pag ki ya tade samne
so this word is from then
from the original from the time of Shame Pasha
wow okay see that's something new to learn I've heard that before quite a lot of times I didn't know it was from there
and again it's like the pag you know it's a sign of sovereignty na odi ki ya tade samne and this is what's happening in the darbar of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj in the Shame Jamma. And what Shame Pasha they do is they gift by Natha and Abdullah a horse and an elephant. And every time they come into the darbar inda saja ke hunde hai inna satkar ditta to these taddiyan.
Look at that man.
Imagine that just coming into like forget cars like going around on an elephant.
Back then that would have been the Ferrari, isn't it?
Literally.
Back then it would have been the G-Wagon.
Literally.
But they're getting mad as khushi, aren't they?
That's it. And again, it's like we keep on saying this, but Kaviji, they're also saying this again and again. They're saying the atmosphere has completely changed. Because you have to remember, now we have this notion of Guru Gobind Singh Ji Maharaj, the Khalsa. But at that time, this didn't exist. It's Guru Nanak Dev Ji, Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, Santan da, Rupa Siga. They're saying everything's changed. Now in the house of Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj, you have sants and warriors akatthe. Chalt agari bajha nishan, jidhar bhi jao nagare bajde hain. ਝੰਡਾ ਝੂਲ ਖਰੋ ਮਹਾਨ ਝੰਡੇ ਨਿਸ਼ਾਨ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਿਤੇ ਝੂਲਦੇ ਆ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਸੰਤ ਸੀਗੇ ਹੁਣ ਉੱਥੇ ਸੂਰਮੇ ਵੀ ਆ ਗਏ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਨਾਲ ਇਕੱਠੇ so now as you can imagine hearing this Chandu gets worried so he was behind the Shaheedi of Panjim Pasha ji and hearing this and he's only heard about this from word of mouth of other people so he wants to see what's going on himself so he's thinking that I need to get rid of the son of Guru Arjan Dev ji Hargobind ko gah kar kaise how can I capture them deo sajaye unan saja dema hatam pit jaise just as I got their pita shaheed I want to get rid of them as well but Chandu's wife on the other hand she says to him it's best to close ties with Shame Pasha ji make friendship with them so go back to them ask them to wed your daughter again because if you do a Panjim Pasha episode that's like what happened isn't it so he agrees again and gal ta teri sahi hai it's better to make them a friend rather than pursue them as an enemy so what he does is he sends his messengers to Amritsar Sahib Akaal Bunga and the main goal is number one to see if he can make Shame Pasha ji wed his daughter again but also to see what's going on akar tell me everything that happens in Darbar Sahib so the messengers they go to Amritsar Sahib and Kaviji they're describing every step the messengers take and what they see aan pahuche beach diwan they enter the diwan of Shame Pasha ji and what do they see in the sangat baithe subat bridh savadhan warriors sitting down everywhere tiyar bar tiyar in the diwan of Shame Pasha ji and what the warriors holding and what they wearing and then he surupe paaya hai ya chole manu santan de paaye tomar tupak teer tarwar spears guns arrows swords in their hands hai na saif sahti sail sambharan the different talwaran and then they look towards Akaal Bunga Akaal Takat and they see Shame Pasha ji shastar bastar te adak subande shastar bastar sajaye hoye bahut hi sone lagde Shri Hargobind takht biraje they sing on a throne not a gaddi on a throne jog gar meh shobhat shamsher and they're saying that these do talwaran Shame Pasha ji have is as if they have two lions by their side inda lagde and they're saying jo rip ke darun shamsher as if those lions are ready to rip through enemies ਤਿਆਰ ਬਰ ਤਿਆਰ ਬੈਠੇ ਆ ਛੇਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਤਾਨੁਕ ਨਿਠੁਰ ਬੱਡ ਧਰਿਓ ਅਗਾਰੀ and they sing in Bir Asan and in front of ਛੇਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ on the tak they have a massive bow in front of them ਫੇਰ ਤੇ ਸਾਰਾ ਚੁਟਕੀ ਕਰ ਤਾਰੀ and in the hand they're playing with the arrow just flicking it around in the hand ਨਾਲ ਢਾਡੀ ਵਾਰਾਂ ਗਾਈ ਜਾਂਦੇ and they've got this arrow in their hand
ਕਿਵੇਂ ਸੀਨ ਬਣਦਾ ਹੈ the hairs standing on end
ਹਾਂਜੀ then the messengers they make their way towards Shame Pasha ਉਹ ਡਰਦੇ ਆ ਹੈਨਾ because they know we come from Chandu we got a letter for Shame Pasha ji and ਸਾਡਾ ਕੀ ਹੋਣਾ
ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਐਸਚਨ ਦੇ ਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਨਾ ਝਟਕਾ ਦੇਣ ਕਿਤੇ
ਕਿਤੇ ਆਏ ਸੀ they like ਚਲੋ ਸੰਤਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਜਾਣਾ ਹੈ but now they see everything
all these weapons
And thruster de Gurnikt Padare, as they're going on, the heartbeat like this. Pad Arbind Bandanatare, and they Mathate and they give the letter to Shemi Basaji Maharaj. And Shemi Basaji, they read out the letter in front of everyone, in front of the whole Sangat. And this is what Chandu writes in the letter. And he says, Bair Akaran Pita Tumare, Mosan Bandio Kismo Jare. They're saying that for no good reason, your father, he had quarrels with me. He would dushmani rakhi sigi for no good reason. He says, AJ rank Sikh tumtig aave. These poor uneducated Sikhs that you have with you. Kachu baat hai, kachu banave. They turn a small issue into something else. He's talking about the Shaheedi of Panjਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ. Ek ਛੋਟੀ ਗੱਲ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਥੇ ਲੈ ਗਏ. That's what he's trying to say. So ਜਾਣ ਦਿਓ ਅਬ ਜਿਉਂ ਕਿਉਂ ਹੋਈ ਜੋ ਕੁਛ ਵੀ ਹੋਇਆ ਭਾਵੀ ਮੇਟ ਨਾ ਸਕ ਹੈ ਕੋਈ. No one can control what happened. ਜੋ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਛੱਡ ਦੋ. Forget everything that happened. ਇਹ ਮਮ ਸੁਤਾ ਕਰੋ ਨਿਜ ਦਾਸੀ. My daughter, take her hand in marriage. ਜਸ ਜੁਤ ਵਿਆਹ ਹੋ ਲਿਆ ਹੋ ਪਾਸੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਵਿਆਹ ਲਓ ਤੁਸੀਂ. Then we'll shake hands. ਦੋਨੋਂ ਹੋ ਦਿਸ਼ ਤੇ ਮਿੱਠੇ ਕਲੇਸ਼ੂ. All the quarrels that we have between us, we'll get rid of it. We'll shake hands on this. ਫਿਰ ਉਹ ਧਮਕੀ ਵੀ ਮਾਰਦਾ at the end of the letter. Right. Because he didn't know what he's getting himself into. ਉਹ ਸੋਚਦਾ ਚੱਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ
ਹੰਕਾਰੀ ਇੰਨਾ ਸੀ ego in it.
Yeah. So ਨਾ ਅੱਗੇ ਮੇਰੋ ਵੱਲ ਜਾਣੇ ਤੁਸੀਂ. You didn't recognize my power before. And he's alluding to ਪੰਜਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਸ਼ਹੀਦੀ. ਤਬ ਹੈ ਮਰਨ ਭਾਲੇ ਹੋ ਪਛਾਨੇ. ਇਹ ਜਾਣ ਲਓ if ਮੇਰੀ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੰਨਦੇ death will come towards you just as it did with your father as well.
Oh wow.
ਅਬ ਤਾਂ ਜਾਣ ਲਿਓ ਨਿਰਧਾਰ. Recognize this. ਤਜ ਹੋ ਬੈਰ. Forget the past. ਛੱਡ ਦੋ. ਸ਼ੁਭ ਸੰਤ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ. We'll shake hand on it.
Right.
And ਇਹ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਕੇ ਛੇਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਵੀਰ ਰਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ. And they say ਕਿ ਬਿਪਤਾ ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੀ ਆ ਚੰਦੂ ਵੱਲ ਨੂੰ. ਆਪਦਾ ਕੋਰ ਮੂਡ ਨਹੀਂ ਰਾਈ. His end is coming soon. ਜੋ ਹੋਣਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਆਪਣਾ ਕਰਮਾਂ ਦਾ ਫਲ ਭੋਗਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਆ. And the messengers they go back. ਭੱਜ ਕੇ ਚਲ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਆ.
So Maharaj can to the messengers and they take the message back.
Like obviously they're going through a lot. It's like Maharaj's response and so much veer ras. But the main thing is Maharaj says, jo hona ya, meaning his end is coming soon. And we'll go through how he dies as well. And just go away. Asi gal nahi mande. And the messengers, they go all the way back to Chandu. They describe everything in detail, everything they saw the moment they stepped into the divan. And they are shocked. They say, this is what they say back to him. They say, asi soch si ke fakiran di gaddi hai. It's a house of saints. So hum bisme kya hai hai? What can we tell you? Gaddi eh fakiran hai. Karan shikar shastra gan tarbe. Like eh Satguru hon shikar vi khedde a. They go hunting. Shastra ਧਾਰਨ ਕੀਤੇ ਔਰ ਤਖਤ ਪਰ ਬੈਠਣ ਕਰ ਵੀ forget the ਗੱਦੀ ਦੇ ਸਿੰਘ on a throne. ਇਹ ਗਤ ਕਬ ਤੇ ਕੀਨ ਨਵੀਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਨਵੀਂ ਰੀਤੀ ਕਦੋਂ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰ ਲਈ. ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹਨ ਕੀ ਰੀਤ ਪ੍ਰਵੀਨ ਇਹਦਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹਨ ਦੀ ਰੀਤੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਧਾਰਨ ਕੀਤੀ ਆ. No longer the house of saints or fakirs. And this is what they're saying to Chandu. It's a house of emperors and so on. And the messages, they give 3 points to Chandu. They say that number one, he's young and he's getting stronger day by day as well. Number two, he adorns himself in shastras day and night. Number three, he's got an army with him which is growing as well. So of course he's trying to hunt you down, Chandu. ਕਿ ਰਾਖ ਲਈ ਸੈਨਾ ਸਮਝਾਈ ਇੰਨੀ ਵੱਡੀ ਸੈਨਾ ਰੱਖੀ ਆ ਹਤਨ ਚੰਦ ਹਿਤ ਸਬਤ ਅਲਾਈ. They say he's doing this to get rid of you because of what you've done. ਚੰਦੂ ਨੂੰ ਡਰ ਲੱਗ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. He goes to Jahangir and Chandu was like a big advisor that Jahangir ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਉਹਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਸੁਣਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ. And the way Chandu describes everything is that ever since we tortured Panjਵੇਂ Pasha Ji, their son is getting ready. He's got an army now. He's on a takat. He's got shastras. Obviously, he's making preparations to get some sort of justice or revenge. And this is what Chandu is saying to Jahangir word for word. Kahavan lagyo Patsha. He calls himself a Patsha now. Okay, the son of Guru Arjan Dev Ji. Karah akher brit banma. He goes hunting with his warriors. Tajyo fakiri ko baho bes. Unane fakiri da pesh. This attire of saints. He's got rid of this. Samta chaat shahu bashish. He wants to be your equal. So he's just trying to fill the ears of Jahangir. He's trying to, for the sake of battle, he's preparing an army. This is what Chandu is saying to Jahangir. So Jahangir, he's quite concerned as well. Because think about it, he's killed, so he's thinking, I've killed their father. Right? His son is preparing an army, which is all true. He has many followers. He sits on a throne higher than my own takat. He's thinking, okay, this is a threat. So what he does is he sends his advisor, and in Itihas, the name is Sheikh Ilm Uldin Ansari. So this person, he was a Hakim, he was a doctor,
Right.
But then he was given a royal title and he became an advisor.
Right.
So he goes by the name of the title of Wazir Khan.
Right.
So this is different to like Shahzadeh.
Yeah.
But this Wazir Khan, he also had Shraddha for Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj.
Okay.
So if I won't go into it, but this whole prasangs on Wazir Khan, how he was ill. Now he had ascites where he get fluid in the abdomen.
Yeah.
And kuch nahi chalda siga. Then he came to Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj and Baba Buddha Ji cured him.
Yeah.
And he'd always listen to Sukhmani Sahib. Sukhmani Sahib was the only thing that got rid of his pain when he was ill.
Okay.
Yeah. So ਉਹਦੇ ਕੋਲ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ. And he'll come up a lot of times where every time there's a jang with Shemi Pasha Ji. All right. And the Mughals are like, no, we need to get Shemi Pasha Ji. He's the one that supports Shemi Pasha.
Right.
Okay, ਇਹ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗਲਤ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ. You shouldn't be going after a guru, a pir and so on.
Yeah.
But anyways, so Jahangir, he sends Wazir Khan to Shemi Pasha Ji to call them to Delhi. Galbaat ਕਰਨ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਆ. So Wazir Khan comes, they get the message. And Mata Ganga Ji, they're getting quite worried now.
Yeah.
Because you have to imagine, it was the same thing happened with Panjim Pasha Ji. A letter came from Jahangir calling them, and then they end up becoming Shaheed. Mata Ji, they're thinking the same.
Same thing.
Yeah. But Baba Buddha Ji, Bhai Gurdas Ji, they reassure Mata Ji that this Satguru Antarjami ne. Shri Hargobind Sahib gat lahe, sara kuch jande ne. Whatever Jahangir plans, Guru Ji knows. Maharaj de paane vich hai sara kuch. So Mata Ji agree. Shemi Pasha Ji, they get ready, they do an ardas, they gain the blessings of Mata Ji. And Satguru Maharaj, they take the army with them to go to Jahangir. Inda nahi ke kalle gaye, pae arudan jabay gusai, they get on the horse. Tun dandab, hana dank uthai, battle drums are playing as well. As aswar hoye kar chale, on the horses, you got the surme as well behind Satguru Maharaj. Sang super chad gah as tale, warriors with the horses, swords and shields, everything. Tayar bar tayar ho gaye, they're making their way towards Delhi to meet Jahangir. And Shemi Pasha Ji, they tell Baba Buddha Ji, Bhai Gurdas Ji to stay at Amritsar Sahib with Mata Ji. And again, look at this. Kavi Ji, they're saying that on the way to Delhi, Shemi Pasha Ji, they're hunting and practicing as well on the way to Delhi. They got all these janwars with them, hunting birds, hawks, shikre, kuhiyan and everything. And the surme, they're practicing their skills on the way to Delhi as well. So they reach this place called Majnu ka Tilla. So this is like 12 miles away from Delhi. And the reason Guru Maharaj stopped there is because Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj utthe aaye sige. Unna da sthan siga. So what they do is they put a massive tent, a massive diwan and everything. The Sangats are getting together as well. The local Sangat, they want to see Shemi Pasha Ji. The Rababis, Shabd Rababi Gav the Rag. Both is Sundar Rag which Shabd gaunde ne. Sun hai prem te jay bad bhag. And lots of crowd getting together. Delhi pur ke nar samuday, Pai Pir Gur Darshan aaye. All the Sangat from Delhi, they start going towards Majnu ka Tilla. Because they want to see Shemi Pasha Ji. Right? And again, we get this again and again, is that they want to see this new tradition. Reet Naveen Her Kar Sangat. They go there and they see, Aaki ho gaya. The Sangat, they come, they see Surme, they see, Shastra, horses. And they're Bismah, Ridya Nikata Thit Pangat. They're surprised and amazed. And that's their reaction. Raj Saj ko beyond Banawa. Jitte Shabd vi gaunde ya, Bhagti vi hundi ya. Utte aa vi kuch hunda. They got Surme training as well. And then there was this Sant, and he is waiting for all the Sangh to go away. He wants to talk to Guru Maharaj one-on-one. Okay. So he goes to Satguru Maharaj. Majnu than raha ek Sant rehanda siga. And he had this chinta. Nit prat name tar simranta. Every day he always remembers Satguru Maharaj. Ke this shanka that I have, this question, I want them to get rid of it. Okay. So Shemi Pasha Ji, the Diwan finishes, everyone goes away. And he makes his way towards Shemi Pasha Ji. And he goes, Haath jor kar boojan kinne, haath jor ke benti karda. Aur shanshay muj karho sohine ki, hey Maharaj, mere ko like shanka ya, I have this one doubt, one question. And this is his question. Ye jag saach ke jhootho banyo. Ye sansar, is it true or false? Sacha ਜਾਂ ਝੂਠਾ? ਨਿਸ਼ਚੈ ਪਇਓ ਨਾ ਮਨ ਮੈਂ ਗੁੰਨਿਓ. ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਦਾ, ਨਿਸ਼ਚੈ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ. ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ, all these ਸੰਤ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਮੈਂ ਰਿਸ਼ੀ ਮੁਨੀ ਫਲਾਣਾ ਧਮਕੜਾ, ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਸ਼ੰਕਾ ਦੂਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੀਤਾ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ. And he says this, ਕਿ ਜੇਕਰ ਸਾਚ ਇਸੇ ਠਹਿਰਾਵੋ ਪੂਰਬ ਮਰੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਦ੍ਰਿਸ਼ਟਾਵੋ. If this jagat, this everything we see, this world is sacha, then how come people come and go? Because such means something that remains forever. Bello we see, hon we have, age vi hoga. Like in all three tenses. So if it's true, why do people, they're born and they leave? Na koi rehanda nahi sada vaste. Then it can't be true, hai na? But he says opposite as well. He says, jekar jhootho karam bacharan. If it's false, sab par tak hi hot niharan. How come I can see everything? This exists because I'm here. I can see everything.
This is real,
So it can't be true, he's saying, because nothing remains forever. He said, it can't be jhoot either because I can see everything. Pratak dasta. And he says, dim tej ikatthe nahi hoye. You can never have darkness and light in the same place. In the same way, you can't have something that's jhoota and false. Sorry, jhoota and sacha in the same place. And pata nahi lagda. And that's why Shemi Pasha ji, they give him an example. And they give the example of a dream, a supna. Jab lo supna nark ho raha hai, tab lo sacho hi la hai. Jado banda supne vich hunda hai, you're sleeping. You're literally experiencing that dream. Odon sacha lagda sara kuch. Everything pratak hai na. Pੈ ਪਾਵ ਅਰ ਭੱਜਿਓ ਜਾਤ ਬੰਦਾ ਡਰਦਾ ਵੀ ਆ ਭੱਜਦਾ ਵੀ ਆ ਹਨਾ ਕਹਿ ਪ੍ਰਿਯ ਦੇਖਤ ਔਰ ਹਰ ਖਾਤ and if he sees someone's beloved in his dream ਉਹ ਖੁਸ਼ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ marching to the point where even outside of the dream ਬੰਦਾ ਹਿਲਦਾ ਆ people like they'll sleepwalk and so on now Guru Ji saying that ਜੇ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਕੋ ਝੂਠੋ ਜਨ ਹੈ ਤਰਾਸ ਬਿਖਾਦ ਹਰਕ ਕਿਉਂ ਠਾਨੇ if you say the supna is ਝੂਠਾ then that person wouldn't be feeling fear happiness or anger. Then he said, it can't be jhoota. But at the same time, I said, Jagre jab hai avastha paaye, when he wakes up, je sacho tab kyun na disai. It's not such at the same time because it's gone now.
It's not real. It's not real.
So Mara said, donne cheeja. And this is what Guru Ji said. Ya te anar vachana prabh maya, jani par hai na bin gurdaya. Maya is neither sat nor asat, neither jhoot nor true. And the Bachan, it comes up in Advait Vedanta as well when you read these different granths to do with Vedanta. It's Anar Bachani. This is the word that neither Sat nor Asat. They can never give an example of what Maya is. But Guru Maharaj in this case actually give an example of what it is. But Guruji said to the Santhiya, don't waste your time. I'm trying to understand this. Maya ki shagd anant, khoj hare budhwant. They're like, many have failed trying to understand that Maya hai ki cheez. What is this word? Forget about it. Maya say, inu pala de, kis te paar na paayo ja. Ya te ek rahe live life. Leave this and focus on the one. Focus on the Sach. And they give another example as well. And this is a very famous example in Advait Vedanta and it comes up in Gurbani as well. Maharaj said, Tam hai raj ko nahe na jaan hai. Pramte bisyar tis ko man hai. Pੈ tarka pajat kampai. So they give the example of the rope and the sap. So what happens is, let's say you have a piece of rope over here, lying over here, right? If it's like Nera, I'll think it's a snake or something.
It looks like a snake.
Looks like a snake. Main dar juga. I'll get, and my heart will beat. I'll get scared. I'll run away and everything. Maharaj saying in the same way, the rope is the ultimate truth. The rope itself. Atma, Brahm. The ultimate truth. But when there's darkness, meaning this ignorance, okay, main ki haan, then we see the sap, which is a Maya. The illusion of Maya. They are theirs. But when the light comes on, ਜਦੋਂ ਧੁੱਪ ਜਾਗਦੀ ਆ ਮਾਨੋ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਗਿਆਨ ਬਖਸ਼ਦਾ ਆ ਉਦੋਂ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਕਿ ਅਸਲ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੱਸ what Guru Ji is saying. They're saying ਇਹ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਪਤਾ ਲੱਗਦਾ ਕਿ ਸੱਚ ਕੀ ਆ ਅਸਤ ਕੀ ਆ and the only way you can do that is by coming to the sharan of the Guru. ਤੇ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਗੁਰੂ ਜਪ ਕਰੇ ਜਦੋਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਬਖਸ਼ਦਾ ਆ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਅਗਿਆਨ ਤਿਸੀ ਕੋ ਹੈ ਬ੍ਰਹਮ ਗਿਆਨ ਬਖਸ਼ਦੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਅਗਿਆਨ ਨਾਸ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਆ ਕਲਪਿਓ ਜਗਤ ਸਰਪ ਕੀ ਨਿਆਈ. This, everything you see, this Maya, is like that sap. Brahma Raju Sam Lak Sukh Pai. Then when the Guru gives the Gyan, meaning when the darkness goes away, Banda dekhta, Aita Raju Ita Bas Rassi Si. Udo pata lagda ke main is shareer nahi, man nahi, not my thoughts, main Brahma haan, Parmeshwar da roop haan, Parmeshwar di ansh. And that's when Guruji give this upadesh. And the son, he's thinking, main sota siga, koi surma hona siga. Yeah, it's Parmeshwar's roop ne. And he falls at the charan of Shemi Pasha Ji. And the moment he falls on the charan, Satguru Maharaj, they give him that Brahm Gyan that they were just talking about. And oh, Brahm Gyan bakshinde ne.
Sharda prem dekh lende fir.
And again, he just does a praise. Tan tan gur kya hai so bhavani. This tan ho. Pata nahi kinne janma da main hai na bhatkda siga, bharm vich siga.
Yeah, kithe kinne nu puchha. He asked loads of different bees, loads of different sons, loads of different Siddhs or whatever, but Maharaj ਕੋਲ ਹੀ ਆ ਕੇ ਸ਼ਾਂਤੀ ਮਿਲੀ ਤਾਂ Maharaj ਕੋਲ ਹੀ ਆ ਕੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਕੋਲ ਆ ਕੇ ਉਹਨੂੰ like he got his answer.
That's it. And so Guru Maharaj, they've left Darbar Sahib, they reached Majnu ka Tilla. Now they reach Delhi to Jahangir. So Jahangir, we'll talk about the other sources as well. So he just needed an excuse to imprison Shemi Pasha Ji. Okay. So when you look at his autobiography, it's Tuzak-e Jahangiri. It's in Farsi, but now it's been get English translations as well. It's very evident that, you know, he wanted to get rid of Sikhi, hence why we have the Shaheedi of Panjwem Pasha ji. Okay, so he was a big hand in the Shaheedi of Panjwem Pasha ji, but that's also because he was under the influence of different people as well.
Yeah.
So this is what he writes in his own words, which is translated into English. Okay, they call him the Guru. So talk about Guru Arjan Dev Ji, you know? And from all direction, fools and fool worshippers are attracted towards him and expressed full faith in him. For 3 or 4 generations, he kept this shop warm. So from Guru Nanak Dev Ji Maharaj. So he said 3 and 4 generations, he kept this shop warm. For years, the thought had been presenting itself to me that either I should put an end to this false traffic or he should be brought into the fold of Islam. So this is in his own autobiography, Jahangir.
Right.
And when you look at history from other historians as well, it's evident that he was under the influence of, like, at that time we have this new fold of Islam which was it was coming about as in Naqshbandis. So these were like a more strict, Qattar type of, you know, Sufi Muslims.
Right.
And he had quite a lot of people in his darbar which were quite had a lot of influence on him, to the point where there's a letter from someone that's the head of this Naqshbandi order called Sheikh Ahmed Sirhandi. He writes a letter to Jahangir's official Murtaza Khan, and it's congratulating him on the Shaheedi of Panjwem Pasha.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So this has also been translated from Farsi to English as well at that time. And this is the Sheikh Ahmed Sirhandi, the head of this Naqshbandi order, congratulating Jahangir's officials and so on, his generals.
Right.
He says, it is true that this Kafir, so Panjwem Pasha ji, was the chief of the infidels and the leader of the Kafirs. The accused Kafir of Govindwal was fortunately killed. Okay? It's a cause of great defeat to the Hindus. With whatever intention and purpose they are killed, the humiliation of Kafirs for Muslims is life itself. So that's what he's saying to Jahangir's officials and so on.
Wow.
So the main thing is, like, from these sources, and these are like primary sources from that time, is that Jahangir, he just needed an excuse to get Shemi Pasha ji into Gwalior.
Yeah.
Okay? And you have to understand, this is his perception. What Jahangir sees is you have the son of Panjwem Pasha ji, who I've killed, who I definitely wanted to. He's raising an army. He's sitting on a throne. He's asking his followers to bring weapons, and he's got an army as well. He's growing.
Big threat. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what he does is he asks Shemi Pasha ji to pay a fine of 2 lakh, which he also asked Panjwem Pasha ji to pay. Shemi Pasha ji, they refuse. And that's how he imprisons Shemi Pasha ji into Gwalior da Tilla.
Right.
Okay. So he just finds an excuse. So that's the historical, like, you know, if you look at the historical evidence, that's what the reason behind it is. But in Gwalior da Tilla, the Hakam, the intendant of the jail, he was a Guru da Sikh siga, Bhai Hardas, in Itihas. So it says, Durgapati Akha Hardas, the intendant of that jail. His name was Hardas. Simrat Sada Sahit Gurpas. He'd always remember Guru Sahib ji, Shemi Pasha ji. And he always had this, ਉਹ ਆਪਣੇ ਆਪ ਨੂੰ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਮਨ ਨੂੰ ਨੀਵਾਂ ਸਮਝਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਕਿ ਮੇਰੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਖੋਟੇ ਭਾਗ ਦਾ I'm not able to have darshan of Guru Hargobind Sahib ji Maharaj, है ना, कि मैं दर्शन में चल कर पाऊँ. How can I go and see Shemi Pasha ji? नहीं दुर्ग को छोड़ सिदा हूँ, because he wasn't allowed to leave the city of Gwalior. That was his job to stay there.
Yeah.
So he couldn't leave, है ना. He'd always remember Shemi Pasha ji. And now he's got this news that Shemi Pasha ji, you're coming to Gwalior. Huh? Yeah. Just imagine the khushi on his face, है ना. So he received the letter from Jahangir himself saying, okay, I'm going to send the Shemi Pasha ji, your job is to imprison them, to keep an eye on them. And bahut hi khushi, you know, he's like, Karat pratik khan hark mahanna, bahut hi khushi. He's like, I had this thoughts in my mind, I want to have darshan, and Guruji aap chal ke aaya just to give me darshan. Yeah. And there's so many sakhiyan like this.
There's so many sakhiyan that covered like that, but it's like this, isn't it, where Bhai Hardas is thinking that my bag are really bad, my destiny is really bad that I'm not getting darshan of Guru Sahib ji, but the truth is that their bag are really good, that Guru Sahib ji aap hi jal ke aage, Maharaj themselves came to give darshan of Guru. But then there's the ardas as well, in it, that you have to focus on here, that the ardas that they did on a daily basis, Maharaj darshan, I want your darshan, and Maharaj is talking about this. This is quite often we overlook this, you know, when it comes to the Sakhi, the Bandi Chorr, the Wali Sakhi, where Maharaj going to Gwalior. One of the main reasons why Maharaj, because let's get one thing straight, is Maharaj is Guru Sahib ji is up to Maharaj, is themselves that went into Gwalior. It's not, you know, you could argue that it wasn't Jahangir didn't imprison Maharaj, it's Maharaj themselves went.
Bilkul.
Just like Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, she didn't get it, they didn't do anything. So Guru Sahib ji themselves are going into Gwalior Fort. They're not getting made to go into it. they're going themselves, and one of the main reasons is because they're pyare Gursikhs, or the Gursikh Bhai Hardas, they want to darshan Maharaj.
They only care of Maharaj. For example, they got this Gursikh, onu darshan dene. And a bahana is Maharaj to free the Raj. 52 kings, If this didn't happen, Maharaj cared as just small reasons,
No, obi hono jere Bhavanja Raje jede they're doing Ardas as well, aren't they?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So he Hardas, Bhai Hardas, bahut hi khushi paida hundi hai, matha tekda hai. In fact, Satguru Maharaj, I've been longing for your darshan for so long, Because he bahut hi mainu nihar ki, to karyo nihal, mohe ko ache. And Shemi Pasha ji, and this is like for all Gursikhs as well, they say, Pao here kar bahu Hardas, Bhai Hardas, I've seen your prem, main tera prem parkh liya. Shri Mukte ki ye baag prakash, and they say this, Guru kar ke jo sharda tari, jere we have this prem and sharda towards a Guru, to your level. Doho lokan gat lehat sukhari. Duna loka chonana sukh miluga. I'll bless them with sukh in this world and the world thereafter. And then you also have the Bhavanja Raja, as you mentioned as well. So many kings were imprisoned in the Gwalior Killa, and they were given this life imprisonment. Umar Kaid, Sari Umar Kaid. The reason was because there was many reasons, like they wouldn't pay the tax on time to Jahangir, and so on, and they caused him trouble as well. Now the thing is, when we see the pictures on Bandi Chorr Divas, you see Satguru Maharaj at the front and the Raja at the back. But always Sajata Jikeya. But the truth is, they were like, bodies were weak, worry, anxiety.
They wouldn't have had anything to eat, drink properly.
Exactly.
Kapde, exactly. Lice would have been there, fleas or whatever.
That's what Kaviji they described them. Weak bodies, Hamesha Chinta which rendisi, as you mentioned, head lice, nits in the hair, and they were in shackles as well, chained, and kapde sare parte ripped. And they had no hope. Mukta hone ki aas na tere. They had no hope for, being released. And they hear that Shemi Pasha have come. ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਆਸ ਪੈਦਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਆ. They get hope. ਖੁਸ਼ੀ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ. ਦੇਖ ਤੇ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਿਰਪਾਲ ਬਿਸਾਲਾ ਸਭ ਕੋ ਦੇਈ ਧੀਰ ਤਿਸ ਕਾਲਾ. ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਧੀਰਜ ਪ੍ਰਾਪਤ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ. The moment they see Shemi Pasha ji enter Gwalior ਦਾ ਕਿਲਾ. So a few days passed. Satguru Maharaj ਉਹ ਬਿਰਾਜਮਾਨ in the prison, and they haven't eaten anything. Shemi Pasha ji. And there are Panj Gursikhs with them as well. And one of them is Bhai Pirana ji, one of the main Gursikhs. And he asked Satguru Maharaj, Maharaj, why aren't you eating anything? Satguru ji, the food that's served here, dharm di kirtan naal nahi banaya. Ta nahi asi ko shak de. And the Gursikhs, they start living in Gwalior and start earning a living themselves. They start making pottery to earn money just to cook the food and feed Guru Maharaj and the Raja as well.
Kinni sharta in it.
Yeah. And that's what they do.
How much love they've got for Guru Sahib. So they start making pots, to make money,
just to get enough money to feed Satguru Maharaj,
to make the food and feed Maharaj.
So we have this thing that comes up in Suraj Prakash, is that Jahangir, he starts getting ill whilst Shemi Pasha ji are imprisoned, and he'd have vision of lions, and lions would come in his dreams, and he'd also see lions as well. And in essence, they were Bhai Pirana ji, Bhai Jitha ji, apne shaktiyan varte sige. They take on the form of lions and scare Jahangir at night. No dar bo hunda siga. And he'd also be getting ill. No doctors were able to tell what's going on. And Bhai Pirana ji disguising himself as a doctor, saying the reason you're ill is because you need to release Shemi Pasha ji. So this comes up in Suraj Prakash. So another thing, we have Pir Miyan Mir visits Jahangir about like half a year later. The truth is, no one knows the exact time how long Shemi Pasha ji were in Gwalior the Killa. Some say 1 to 2 years, some say even longer than that. But what happens is you have Pir Miyan Mir, or Sai Miyan Mir as they say. He meets Jahangir about 6 months later. And Pir Miyan Mir, if you didn't know, he was actually one descendant of Prophet Muhammad's family. So the father-in-law of Muhammad, he was from his family tree. He's like a big figure in Islam. Pir Miyan Mir. So he goes to Jahangir, and Jahangir satkar karda hai, Pir aaya hua hai na. He just asks him a question, as if like kare sant aaye hone, you ask them a spiritual question, and he asks them, okay, tell me what the signs of a true sant, sacha sant ki hunda ya. And Pir Miyan Mir, they give the example of Panjim Pasha ji. They say Jim Shri Ram Das ke Nandan, Shri Arjan Dukh Dokh Nikandan, the son of Guru Ram Das ji, Guru Arjan Dev ji Maharaj. Why were they a true sant? They saw Dukh and Sukh barabar. Koi fark nahi panda siga. They talk about the Shaheedi. Bal hote nirbal pe aise. Despite all their power, they accepted the hukum of Parmeshwar. And some Itihaskars, they say that during the Shaheedi, Pir Miyan Mir was there as well, present. And he says to Satguru Maharaj, I can get rid of everything, use my powers. and they say नहीं हुक्म मनना है ना और बशेखता ਇਹ ਤਿੰਨ ਕੇਰੀ this was their ਵਿਸ਼ੇਸ਼ਤਾ ਸਹਿਜ ਬ੍ਰਿਤ ਤੇ ਨਿਤ ਚਿਤ ਸੀਤਲ they always in ਸਹਿਜ ਅਵਸਥਾ ਆਤਮ ਰਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਸੀਗੇ and Jahangir hearing this ਹੈ ਨਾ he's a bit shocked ਹੈ ਨਾ because he knows he was behind the Shaheedi and he asked Pir Miyan Mir why are you praising kafirs non-Muslim ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਤਾਰੀਫ ਕਿਉਂ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ he says ਕਹੇ ਹੋ ਸ਼ਾਹ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਤਾਂ ਉਹ ਤਾਂ ਹਿੰਦੂ ਸੀਗੇ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਕਹਿਣੀ ਬਣਾ ਨਾ ਮਹਿਮਾ ਹੋਏ ਤੁਸੀਂ you shouldn't be praising them ਹੈ ਨਾ according to Islam ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਉਪਮਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਨੀ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਆ ਤੁਰਕਨ ਮਤ ਮੈਂ ਦੋਸ਼ ਗਨੰਤੇ why are you praising them so highly ਹੈ ਨਾ ਅਸ ਤਾਰੀਫ ਕਿਉਂ ਆਪ ਕਰਨ ਤੇ ਕਿਉਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਤਾਰੀਫ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ and Pir Miyan Mir he says that on this path of ਪਰਮਾਰਥ spirituality ਨਾ ਕੋਈ ਦਵੈਸ਼ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਪਰਮੇਸ਼ਰ ਦੇ ਸੰਤ ਜਨ ਇੱਕ ਰੂਪ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ and Pir Miyan Mir what he's trying to say is that you should realize their son Shemi Pasha Ji is the form of Guru Nanak themselves, is the form of Guru Arjan Dev Ji themselves. You need to realize your mistake. Yeah. So this is where Jahangir starts, contemplating and everything.
Well, okay.
Yeah. And he said, "Bakshama aparad gihir." So that I need to ask for forgiveness. Inna badda paap ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ.
So this is where you realized what he's done.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਹਾਂਜੀ.
Yeah.
ਮੈਂ ਇੰਨਾ ਵੱਡਾ ਪਾਪ ਕੀਤਾ ਸੀਗਾ. And now I've imprisoned their son as well. So this is what he wants to do now. Adab Rak kar band khalasi. With respect, I'm going to order for their release. Okay? Let Assis, then ho ke paasi. Main ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ Assis ਲੈਣੀ. I want to gain their blessings and forgiveness as well. Okay? Now another point is that in this time, historians they also say that these Naqshbandis, like the Qattar Islams, they were falling out with the officials of Jahangir at this time as well. Okay. So he's coming more towards like Akbar's time. Akbar is like more tolerant of all religions. And you have Pir Miyan Mir also has a big influence as well. So he wants to ask for forgiveness. Right. For what he's done. So Jahangir, he said, "Main maafi mangni hai." He said, "What I'll do is I'll give them Chandu."
Right. Okay.
I'll give them Chandu. I'll ask for forgiveness. हाथ जोड़ कर खता छिम कहाँ मैं बेनती करूँगा हाथ जोड़ के करो प्रसन्न चंद गह दहो and if they want I can give them Chandu. He was behind everything. बिन अपराध होए हों तब then I'll gain their happiness. They'll forgive me. Shri Hargobind खुश है जब and I want to make sure वो खुश होंगे ने Shri Pasha ji. So what Jahangir does is he sends Wazir Khan again, his messenger, to go to Gwalior, and he says, "Call Shemi Pasha Ji towards Delhi, and I want to ask for forgiveness and everything." Wazir Khan goes to Gwalior. He tells Shemi Pasha Ji that you've been released. Shemi Pasha Ji refused to leave. Asi jana nahi. And again, this applies to all Guru Sikhs as well. Anyone that comes to the Sharan of Guruji, कि हमरे सदा प्रतज्ञा ही Maharaj says सदा वास्ते. This is our nature. This is our rule, है ना? कि शरण परे कहो त्यागत नहीं. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਵੀ ਸਾਡੀ ਸ਼ਰਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਉਹਨੂੰ ਛੱਡਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਦੇ. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ. ਕਦੇ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡਦੇ. ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਆ ਜੋ ਸ਼ਰਨ ਚ. ਹਾਂ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ just become Guru Sahib Ji Sikh. ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਛੱਡਣਾ. ਮਹਾਰਾਜ won't let you go. And this is what Guru Ji say. They say ਜੋ ਨਰ ਆਰਤ ਕਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਬੇਰਾ. ਜਿਹੜੀ ਵੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਕਹਿ ਦੇਵੇ just once. All you have to do say once. Shri Hargobind ਮੈਂ ਅਬ ਤੇਰਾ ਕਿ हे Guru Hargobind Sahib ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ. I'm yours, ਹੈ ਨਾ? And this is what I do for that Guru Sikh. ਕਿਆ ਗਿਣਤੀ ਹੈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਚਾਵਨ. ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਪਾਪਾਂ ਦੀ ਕੋਈ ਗਿਣਤੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਰਦਾ. ਕੀ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ, ਕੀ ਸੁਭਾਅ ਆ, ਹੈ ਨਾ? How many sins and paps he's done. ਮੈਂ ਗਿਣਦਾ ਨਹੀਂ. ਨਿਕਟ ਨਾ ਦਿਓ ਦੂਤ ਜਮਾਵਨ. I won't let ਜਮਦੂਤ ਨੇ ਦਮ as well. ਜਿਹੜਾ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਕਹਿ ਦਵੇ ਕਿ ਹੇ ਸਤਿਗੁਰੂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਮੈਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਬਣ ਗਿਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਰੱਖ ਲਓ ਆਪਣੀ ਸ਼ਰਨ.
That's a life hack that is, isn't it? Yeah. Straight after this I know what I'm doing.
yeah.
Let's do the beinti to Maharaj. कि महाराज आप थोड़ा ही ਅਸੀਂ ਥੋੜਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ. ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ ਇੱਕ ਗੁਰਸਿੱਖ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਪਿਆਰੀ ਅਰਦਾਸ ਕੀਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰੀ. I remember it, the first time I heard it, I thought, is the mentality that you talk to Maharaj with, है ना? एक अरदास करदा he goes कि महाराज ਅਸੀਂ ਚੰਗੇ ਆ ਮਾੜੇ ਆ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਥੋੜਾ ਹੀ ਆ ਅਸੀਂ, है ना? And the Maharaj be your children.
ਹਾਂਜੀ ਉਹ ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਬੁਰੇ ਭਲੇ ਹਮ ਥਾਰੇ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਚੰਗੇ ਬੁਰੇ ਪਰ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹਾਂ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਹੀ ਆ ਐਂਡ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਰੱਖ ਲਓ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸ਼ਰਨ ਚ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਆ ਹਾਂ and that's what Guru Hargobind Sahib Ji Maharaj saying to Wazir Khan. He said, I'm not going to go because these Raje ਉਹ ਮੇਰੀ ਸ਼ਰਨ ਚ ਆਏ ਹੁਣ ਮੈਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਛੱਡਣਾ ਨਹੀਂ. I'm not going to leave them. And they say I'll only leave if they're released with me as well. So Wazir Khan goes all the way back to Jahangir, tells him everything. Jahangir's thinking, he's like, "Aa ki ho gaya?"
Panga pe gaya.
Yeah, he's saying, "I fought battles with these Raje, hai na? I spent lots of resources to capture them. They caused me a lot of trouble, and now I have to release them as well. To release the Shemi Pasha.
And they're going to go back into their kingdoms or whatever. And then they might raise an army or whatever. So imagine the tension he's in now.
So ਉਹ ਆਪਣੀ ਥੋੜੀ ਚਤਰਾਈ ਜੀ ਵਰਤਦਾ ਆ. He's like those that can hold on to your chola,
Yeah.
ਤੁਸੀਂ ਮਨੋ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਸ਼ਰਨ 'ਚ ਆ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਪੱਲਾ ਫੜ ਸਕਦੇ ਨੇ ਹਨਾ ਉਹ ਨਿਕਲ ਜਾਣਗੇ and that's why he says I'll cut their shackles if they can hold on to your chola. So ਛੇਵੇਂ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ you get special chola made 50 ਕਲੀਆਂ ਵਾਲਾ 50 like you know corners like and ਅਜੇ ਵੀ ਹੈਗਾ if you go chola ਸਾਹਿਬ ਹੈ ਨਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਵੱਡਾ actually like the chola was like quite damaged and been like restored and everything.
I mean, if I'm not sure if we can put that picture upon while we're talking as well, but it's, if you go to Gurdwara Ludhiana de nede
I think so,
the Chola Sahib and from seeing that Chola as well especially you can see how big Maharaj, how tall, how wide they would have been as well. So
Definitely.
you can get darshan of that same Chola to this day.
Yeah.
And we quite often it's referred to as 52 kaliyan wala chola, but it's not 52 kaliyan.
So according to
52, it's 50 kaliyan.
50.
It's 50 kaliyan.
So now you get Shaving Pastor, you're getting ready with this new chola, and again Kavaji they're describing Guruji Maharaj after doing their nitnem tayar hunde a to leave Gwalior da Killa. Gah dirag pehri shamshir they wear a large talwar baddi talwar tegga pende ne. And again, it's as if they have a lion by their side. And that Shastra is like his lion next to Satguru Maharaj. Janu Band, Jabu Nat ke phool lagaya, they are tall with gold folds on it. Tied to their Kamar Kasa, Shemi Pasha ji. And then they attach a quiver to the same Kamar Kasa on the other side, Patha. And the Patha, they say, both is sundar and had gold inlay work on it as well. Tana kathora haath mein hangayo, and in their hand they have a massive bow in their hand. Panahi pai chalyo ko chalyo, and they start making their way out the fort as well. The doors are open, and all the kings, they hear the rule that Jahangir gave that you have to hold on to their palla. They kripa kar kahyo kripal, ek daman kah, ek mahapal. The Raje they're running towards Shemi Pasha ji ki ek palla sanu do, ek sanu do. They're rushing, and Satguru Maharaj holi tir is not ek dinde ya Raje nu. Now because it's 50 palle, 2 Raje are remaining. Do reh gaye.
Can you imagine what them two are feeling like?
The
rest of them, all 50, have grabbed onto Maharaj's palla. They've grabbed onto Maharaj's chola, and just imagine them two now. Going in this saal baad, you know, like it was supposed to be life imprisonment. Maharaj ne, what was going through their mind?
And that's what happens. They talk about how they start crying. They go to fall onto the feet of Guruji. Maharaj sanu na chhade. And Guru Maharaj koi na assi tanu nahi chhadn lage. Doye jamme ke band hamare. Aayega ho neja haath mein ja rahe. Now the chole nowadays are different, but like you have to tie them up, have different ties. The 2 of those ties, tusi aa far lo. So that's what they do. They hold on to the ties of the chola. And now Satguru Maharaj are leaving Gwalior da Killa and have the Raj surrounded by Raj from all corners. 50 kaliyan wala chola. It's not like the pictures where you get like threads. It's like the kaliyan, like they were around Guru Maharaj themselves. Guru Maharaj in the middle. And the moment they're leaving Gwalior, all the people from the city, they're rushing to see what's happening. Log hajaron heran het. Hajaran hi log katte hunde ne. They're rushing to see what's happening. Mile aaye hoye shigar samet, and they're all running. And you have massive lines of sangata. Bhai dur lag pangat khari. Gur darshan ne bandan kari. And as Guru Maharaj are walking, and the Raje one by one, matha take one by one. As Guru Maharaj are walking out. And then you also have Bhai Hardas ji. And Guru Maharaj say to him, ke Bhai Hardas ji, you're going to take these Raje, we're going to go Delhi to meet Jahangir. Tusi inna naal rehna ya. Take them back to the kingdoms and so on. So Bhai Hardas ji, he's also released as well. So,
Maharaj released them as well.
So what happens is now, Shemi Pasha ji, they're going to go and meet Jahangir. Where Jahangir, he wants to meet Shemi Pasha ji, asks for forgiveness, gives Chandu. So what they do is, they reach Delhi, they meet Baba Buddha ji as well, and the other Gur Sikhs. And Jahangir, he hath jod ke kehda Shemi Pasha ji nu, Chirankar ko hai ek Pir. I met this one Pir, Miyan Mir. Suno Guru ji brid sarir te unne menu soji ditti a. He told me the upma Panjਵੇਂ Pasha ji na ke Maharaj main bahut hi baddi galti ਕੀਤੀ a. He also says kar chari mat mor begari. All these advices like Chandu and the other Naqshbandis, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਮੇਰੀ ਮਤ ਵਿਗਾੜ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਸੀਗੀ. They had lots of influence on me, ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਕਰਕੇ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ, ਤਿੰਨ ਕੋ ਰੂਪ ਆਪ ਕੋ ਜਾਨਣਾ. I see you as the former Panjਵੇਂ Pasha ji, hence why I'm asking for forgiveness from you. Please forgive me. ਅਖਲ ਦੋਸ਼ ਬਖਸ਼ਾਵਣ ਠਾਨਾ, ਮੇਰਾ ਦੋਸ਼ ਮਾਫ ਕਰ ਦਿਓ. Now Satguru Maharaj, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਬਿਰਦ ਕੀ ਹੈਗਾ? We reading ਗੁਰਬਾਣੀ ਹੈ ਨਾ, ਸੰਤ ਕੇ ਦੋਖੀ ਕੋ ਅਵਰ ਨਾ ਰਾਖਣ ਹਾਰ. ਹੁਣ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਸੰਤਾਂ ਦੀ ਨਿੰਦਾ ਕਰਦਾ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੁੱਖ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਆ, he has no hope, that ਬੰਦਾ. But Nanak Sant Bhav hai, taan lai ubar. If that same person asks for forgiveness from the Sant, from the Satguru, Maharaj onu bakshin dene. So Jahangir, even though he did such a bahut hi ghor paap keh lo, hai na, he's asking for forgiveness. He realizes his mistake, and Satguru Maharaj onu bakshin dene. And we'll have prasangs later on where Satguru Maharaj like go hunting with Jahangir and so on.
Yeah.
So what he does is, now the Gursikhs, we see this again in Itihas where Satguru da bakshan har ne. Guru ji forgive, hai na, everyone. But Guru da khalsa nahi kadde nahi, kisi nu bakshda, hai na. So you have the Gursikhs, hai na, oh nahi bakshan tiyar, hai na. So what Jahangir does is he gives Chandu to the Gursikhs.
Okay.
You like to take Chandu.
Okay.
Hai na, minnu baksh do.
Okay.
So that's what he does. And Baba Bidhi Chand ji, Bhai Jetha ji, all the Gursikhs, and they tie up Chandu, na, and they start punishing him. Sir Chandu ke joot hanante, sir jutiyan maar dene, bahut hi kot dene. And there was this rule, that the rule was that every time a Gursikh comes, na, you have to hit Chandu 5 times minimum.
Right.
Jutti naal.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what the Gursikhs would do.
The important number 5.
Yeah. Panj bari marna, yeah. So Shevin Pastor ji, now they send a letter to Mata ji. Mata ji bahut chinta vich sige. Now my son's been imprisoned. And the Sangata start celebrating. So Satguru Maharaj, they're going to make their way to Amritsar Sahib now.
Yeah.
Now first, what they do is they stop at Govindwal Sahib first. Yeah. They do Ishnana Boli Sahib, meet the Palyandi called the lineage of Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj.
Yeah.
Una di bakshish prapta karde ne. And then they go to Amritsar Sahib where they have the Deepmala, celebration of their return.
I think important thing to note here is that the release from Gwalior and when they reach Amritsar would have taken, I don't know, months. Yeah, would have taken a while. So when we celebrate Diwali on that particular day, I think it's been confused with when Maharaj got released. But it's when Maharaj reached Amritsar. Yeah.
And Deepmala is not the only time. I forgot to mention this during our TJ Pasha episode. When Guru Amar Das Ji Maharaj, for example, when Bhai Datu kicked them in the chest, and they left and went back to the Bend Basar ke, and when they came back with the Baba Buddha Ji, udo vi Deepmala hui si.
Yeah, khushiyan
manaiyan. They had a dive and everything. Just as the same way, Shevin Pasha Ji are coming back, and they're having Deepmala as well.
Yeah.
I forgot to mention that in the previous episode. So Shevin Pasha Ji, they're making their way towards Harmandir Sahib. Harmandir mein gaye Gosai. Or they do matha tek dene. Adhik paut ar grieve ne vai. And Baba Buddha Ji, they do ardas in happiness. Then Buddha ardas uchari, panch gurun le naam agai. They remember the previous 5 Guru Sahibs. Kada prasad banonde ne, sare sangtan vaste, sare shak dene. Shevin Pasha Ji, they do prakarma around Darbar Sahib and Akaal Bunga as well. I know khushiyan, as when we celebrate Diwali over here, Bandi Chorr and so on.
Yeah, I don't think it's to overlook this. It's not a small thing because you have to remember that Dhan Guru Hargobind Maharaj were away from Sangata, away from Amritsar for say, I know you said it's not not official how long they were in Gwalior or however long they went, but even roughly a year, 2 years. Chalo saali la lo. And even if you just say a year, Guru Sahib Ji were away from the Sangata Amritsar for a year. So you can imagine the khushiyan when Maharaj got there.
Definitely, 100%.
Yeah.
So now we'll finish on Chandu's death, and then we'll call the end of this episode. So what happens is, Shevin Pasha Ji, they go to Lahore, and what they do is they're going to celebrate the Prakash Purab of Guru Ram Das Ji Maharaj. So Lahore Chuna Mandi where Guru Ram Das Ji da Prakash hoya si. Satguru Ramdas Jahan Janme, Ganme Pratham Pao Taraman me. Ote Shardanal Prakash Purab manaunde ne Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj. Then Shevin Pasha Ji with the Sangtan, they visit the Shaheedi Asthan of Panjwin Pasha Ji, pay the respects over there as well, in Lahore.
So if I'm not mistaken, so from Chandu, from Delhi.
Yeah. He's coming all the way.
They've dragged him all the way from Delhi to Amritsar.
Now Lahore.
And now going to Lahore. Yeah, okay.
And you can only imagine
and then the order is, the rule was that whoever's coming there, beat him up 5 times.
And this comes up as well where the Gursikhs, Baba Vidhi Chand Ji, I think, I didn't put it down here, but they had this thing that make sure you hide Chandu from Guru Sahib Ji. Guru Ji daya na karan ode utte. Yeah. Oh jane ke Satguru ne subha kinda daya na.
Daya jani
hamare. Like hide him from Guru Maharaj. Asi khuttange hai na, kot khai jaoga, but keep him away from Guru Ji. That was a rule by the Gursikhs as well. Yeah. So now Guru Maharaj then Lahore, and the Gursikhs, they're dragging Chandu around as well. Baba Bidhi Chand Ji especially. So what they're doing as Guru Maharaj then Lahore, they're dragging Chandu around the streets of Lahore.
Yeah.
And every time a Sikh comes, Chandu had a sangli around his neck. Some say nak ch nakel vi pai sigi.
Sometimes not by yeah.
And they're just hitting Chandu as well. So what happens is the same man who was forced to put tatta retta on Guru Arjan Dev Ji Maharaj, he was forced to do it against his will. He sees Chandu. He recognizes Chandu. Ye banda siga that forced me to do such a paap. So what he does is onu bo gussa paida hunda hai. So at the time he had this karcha like with sharp ends. You know what do you call it? One karcha na, one you use with deg, like the sharp one. So he had that na retta naal karda siga is boiling hot. So what he does is he goes towards Chandu, and he, according to Suraj Prakash, karcha loh garv at tat bahut, he's boiling hot, and he has that karcha in his hand. Lagyo dos te udhar pe gat, he faces the abdomen of Chandu. Okay. Inna bir mano he's just angry na. Tichan ko charam ko chira and cheer ke rakh denda hai. That's how Chandu dies there and then. Right. In the odi maut hundi hai. Wow. And it's, you know,
the funniest thing that is they hid Chandu away from Maharaj. Because pata si ki Maharaj ne koi de aa jani hai. If he asks for maafi, Maharaj ke chal chhad do.
Yeah, ye bahut hunda hai. Even in like 10वें पातशाह ਦੇ ਇਤਿਹਾਸ where Satguru Maharaj, I think there's a sakhi where koi jap tap wala peer siga na, odi jagah sigi. And out of respect, Satguru Maharaj, hath vich teer in the nivya siga, they put it down out of respect. Because Maharaj aa ki karde tusi, hai na? Peeran de kapde inda nahi kar sakde. Tanu assi tankhaw loni hai. And the Khalsa ordered Guru Maharaj to give deg to the Sangat because he kita siga. As a Khalsa, tusi peeran nu kabran te na inda kar nahi sakde. I think my dad told me the story or something.
I think the version I've heard is that Maharaj goes, I was just testing you guys.
Oh yeah, I'm testing you guys.
I was testing you guys and tusi vadiya, tusi keh sakde ho sanu. You can say you're the Khalsa. You can say it to the Guru as well. And then the Khalsa, the Singh said that, yeah, but tankhaw bhi hum laguni.
Kehna matlab ke Khalsa nahi bakhshda, but Maharaj oh bakshin dene hai.
Haan, but that's the difference between a Guru and us, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But wow, that's just that's the second part.
Second part, yeah. So much more.
Learning so much about Maharaj Guru Sahib Ji, getting the just a quick recap now. I'm finishing it off. Is when they got the Miri, the two talwara, two swords. Akaal Bunga, they made that and made the Akaal Bunga.
The army's ready.
Got the army ready, the weapons.
Hunting as well.
You know, hunting. The messengers come, give the messenger. Chandu's getting scared. And then this is like an episode, isn't it? Like watching it, a movie. And then Maharaj go towards Majnu ke Tilla, near Delhi.
Yep.
And then they get Delhi, or Sara hunda fi Gwalior. And then Maharaj go back to Amritsar. And then Lahore. Reasons. So these little reasons for why Maharaj went there to celebrate the Praka of Guru Ramdas Ji Maharaj, and then to visit the Shaheedi Asthan of thingy. Yeah.
And also, I forgot to mention, is Goviji, they also mentioned this. Because Kai Tarak Karde, I think it's important to mention this stuff as well. So itihas you can look at it from different angles. Now, je Raj si birti naal dekhni hai. Guru Maharaj going hunting, yes, you need to do it for your practice and so on. But Satoguni birti naal dekhni hai ke dekho Maharaj jeevan da udhar karde hai. Every single animals Guru Maharaj is hunting, for whatever reason, is sare jeevan di kalyan hundi hai. And you got Gurdwara Sahib, Hajur Sahib, Shikar Ghat and so on.
Yeah, brilliant. So we'll end it there. And we'll meet you guys on the next episode, continuing this on.
Hopefully.
So part 3. Be important. I think we're going to go into Jangs in that.
I think so. Yeah. Pehli Jang.
The first Jang of Guru Hargobind Maharaj. So until then, we'll leave it here. If we made any mistakes, guys, please forgive us, like like always, and please do leave comments to let us know how you're finding these episodes. So Fateh from us. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.